There you go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is a live studio shit-ass performance of Drinks and Toys. I'm here again with my four favorite counterparts. Well, I guess three. I'm four if I count myself, but I count myself as two people sometimes. So I'm here with Mr. Johnny Five. Johnny, how you doing tonight?
Salut.
Good stuff. And Wheezy, how are you?
I'm good, man. Just trying to see what you're doing on YouTube, but I'm good.
And Psycho, aka Hugo Strange, how are you, sir? You got a nice new background in front of you, like behind you there.
I appreciate that. No, things are going well. We're gonna have to have a conversation about that Hugo Strange thing, though.
No. It's fine. We're gonna keep going with it. So, wow, that was quick. Look at this shit right here. Joe, thank you for joining so quickly. Man, if you came that quick all the time,
Whoa.
nobody?
You getting Joe's personal life here?
All right, it's too soon, I guess. It's 8:58. I should have waited. Could have waited till the joke had a little more power behind it, but that's fine.
Oh, that's probably why. Okay, that makes sense then.
Everyone, awesome Tuesday night. Welcome to see everybody. Listen, so we had a couple things on the roster, I guess. We've got the whole Funko Pop bullshit going on. We had what was the other thing, Chris? You talked about earlier.
No, the whole premium DNA thing. Like, it's
yeah. And then what else? We had something else on the roster there. Let me go back and check the chat that we don't ever follow. And by we, I mean
the chat's
me.
really just for like us to like send each other stupid videos and Johnny to show off Transformers that Tony wants. That's really what the chat is.
Well, I had one stupid thing I was going to pull up, and then you want to talk about Legion's Con?
Transformers are growing on you. I can feel it.
On me?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
We'll see.
If it was growing on me, I'd like biopsy it like a wart. Okay.
I'm gonna pull up this little meme, which was nothing, but it was also something. It was kind of stupid. It was so funny. And I know Wheezy was like, that's what sparked the whole. Well, we've got XYZ to talk about, but I feel like this image is necessary. Hold on.
What's that?
Come on.
Gotta get the bottle in there for the, eventual.
You see this shit? I never remember this from the toys. So like the old what is it, Scare Glow or what is this? What line is this, Chris? Do you know?
No, I don't know which line that is.
That's the slime line, I believe. You put water on them and slime shows up on them.
So look at the handles for their proton guns, I guess you could say.
Tony posted this shit, and I was like, "Rude for your pleasure."
I'm like, that is fucking hilarious, dude. It's so stupid, but it's so funny at the same time.
Kind of fucked up that Winston's isn't bigger than everybody else's, though.
I mean, I'm just glad it wasn't darker. That just weird. But yeah, it's kind of funny, like the way they did that. Like you don't think about that kind of stuff, and then somebody posts something, you're like, crap.
I mean,
I don't know. I thought it was funny.
I would really, just in all reality of what that is, I would assume it's done for this pure reasoning of knowing there's a difference.
Yeah, I'm sure it was to be funny. I don't think it was for any other reason.
Well, no, anything to be funny. I think like is more of the factory. Oh, we have to make 4 of them different colors, so they just made them different. So they knew like these ones all went with like Winston. These ones all went with this person.
Oh, I got you. To differentiate the figure. Yeah. Okay.
For all the little hands that put them together.
Yeah, I mean,
strong hand.
I took a look at the re-release figures because I have the proton packs for the re-release ones. They're not different. Peter's is different, but the other 3 are exactly the same. And then here in the glow in the dark ones, Peter and Egon have the same one, and Ray and Winston have the same one. So I don't know.
So they're not ribbed for your pleasure?
Well, Peter and Egon's is, but the other ones are not.
Of course, Peter's is. He's
that
kind of guy.
So, all right, before we go any further and start getting into like the really deep shit, I feel like we should address the crappy plastic elephant in the room. That is Funko.
Okay.
And all of the rumors that are most likely true, and all of the stories and the just sharing and the pages and everything about how Funko is essentially, let's call it what it is. The days are numbered, and I think that we have all. You guys can all stop me if I'm wrong, but I think we've all kind of been saying that for a while. I feel like as we've been at the shows, we've seen less of a presence, not necessarily of Funko sellers, but of Funko buyers. Now, the last couple shows we've been to, I can definitely tell you that we've seen a plethora of the walls of them just selling whatever Funkos. Now, there is one particular seller that we had a good conversation with. He has migrated onto, or whatever you want to call it, into the world of Pokemon cards.
Oh.
So he's on to the next fad. And I hate to say it, but I'm sorry. Nothing against anybody who does Pokemon, but call it what it is. It's the fad for right now. So don't make that face, John. So we've got the people that have moved on to the Funko card thing. You're seeing more of those at shows than you ever saw. You're seeing more of a hype at stores than you ever saw. More of a hype online, so on and so forth. It is the Beanie Babies of right now. It's come back around. Hold up, don't say anything. And so at the shows, that we talked to that dude, and he was like, "Look," he goes, "the only Funko I am selling right now are the digital ones that you had to like send away to get the actual physical Funko. There's a name for it. I forget what they're called. Rebel Girl knows what it's called. But basically, you won a digital Funko that nobody else would have, and then you got the hard physical version in your hands. They shipped it to you. But the rest of the Funko world is pretty much just falling apart. The prices are going down. They've re-released things that are not rare anymore because of the re-release. And so, unfortunately, the Funko ship is crushing. And so people are worried about Mondo, which I don't think they should be. But again, this is all up for discussion. So please go ahead, and anybody but John.
So first, I just want to let Psycho know that I just put a Publix order in for some prune juice for him for whatever the hell's going on over there, because you look like you need the shit. So it's on its way to you.
Yeah.
Second, Funko's been on the downcline for years.
It's called decline, but yes.
What I say?
Downcline.
Downcline. Crown. Let's do this.
Like they got an extra chromosome or something.
So on the decline for years. But
Funko Pop. Sorry, go
recently the thing popped up saying that, Funko admits that they're, they might not survive another year, this and that, if the trend continues. But after doing a little bit of research, it comes out that article is not wrong, but it's clickbait as hell. If you read the actual article, Funko never said anything like that. It was about their earnings report, and for this past quarter or whatever, they actually went up in their sales. So they're actually on the rise again from a decline. But people, they're running wild with it online with the one report that they're dying, and it's not. What was said? What, Tony? Yes.
So, well, I just want to piggyback on what you're saying. So, I'm no, guru when it comes to anything, but I will toot my own horn and say I understand a lot of business just because of my background and what I've been involved in. Right, I've been privy to with companies and mergers and acquisitions and sales and all that kind of crazy crap. And so, to Chris's point, they're talking about Funko and how they're on the rise for this last quarter or whatever it was that he was talking about. So here's the thing: when a company has an umbrella and they own multiple companies or multiple subsidiaries or whatever you want to call it, they have the ability to hide loss and hide gain, right? So they can turn around.
As a public entity?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they have their main. I'm just saying it's their main branch, which is Funko, right? And then everything that falls under Funko. So regardless, Funko is Funko is Funko. So when you go to the stock market, Funko is Funko is Funko. But Funko, whatever they do with their monies, doesn't matter. Shareholders agree to whatever Funko does. but whatever happens under Funko is Funko. So if you are earning money, let's say you have, I'm just going to make up businesses they own, right? Let's say they own Chevy, and let's say they own Toys R Us, and they're like, oh, Toys R Us is failing miserably. It's not doing well. They'll somehow say that, well, Funko invested in whatever, and so subsidiaries are going off to that, and that portion of Funko is going away. However, we're seeing big increases in markups in the Chevy world, and Chevy continues to flourish, and therefore Funko's doing very, very well. Now, that's not what's happening, obviously, or at least it's not what we're reading. I don't know if it's true or not. But Funko's, oh, we're in danger of going under. We owe this much money to this, this, and this. Well, Funko could be like, oh, we're in debt for trillions of whatever it is, millions of dollars to whatever, and all these, oh my God, whatever we lost money in. But Mondo is doing well. They're flourishing. They're making money. Mondo's doing so well. So if they want to, they can make Funko look like they're not doing quite as bad. But if they're done with Funko, if they're like, we don't want to do Funko anymore, they can say, well, Funko is gone. The company's disrupted or gone under, or whatever it is. And we're going to do whatever new company, and Mondo will stay alive underneath the new company. So they can bankrupt one without hurting the other.
So I'd like, maybe that world, I don't know. Like, I would understand, like, say NECA has an umbrella. NECA's owned by another company, right? And then that same company owns Kid Robot and Diamond Select Toys and all that now.
I don't know NECA. Do they have that? Is that actually the thing?
Yeah.
So they're Kid Robot and all that stuff?
Kid Robot and all them are owned by the same company that owns NECA. NECA doesn't own them, but the same umbrella owns all of them. So
I didn't know that. Okay.
If like Kid Robot goes under, NECA doesn't go under, right? They just, all right, yeah, we're still doing this. But my question would be, if the umbrella closes, like the perfect example would be Diamond Select. Diamond Select was an umbrella. Then they had Diamond Select Toys, Diamond Select, like they had their different iterations. So when their Diamond Select went under, they sold Diamond Select Toys to NECA because they were going under. It was closing, right?
Sure.
So I think that's where people are kind of concerned with the whole Funko thing, is if Funko, because when you look it up, it says that not a Funko subsidiary owns Mondo, is that Funko owns Mondo. So if they own it and Funko goes under, that could spell disaster for Mondo. But I would assume if it was disaster, they would just sell Mondo to somebody else. And Mondo would then take a little bit of time to realign stuff, get new contracts signed, because if they switch companies, all their contracts have to be redone, and then continue on. But
so there would be somebody to pick up that slack for Mondo, right? So whether it be, again, I don't know their hierarchy, right? But let's say it's a CFO for Funko that says, hey, I'm leaving, I'm no longer part of Funko, and now I work for Mondo, and they want to turn around and bankrupt and kill off everything Funko. They can do that, and Mondo will stay separate and will continue. It's not responsible for any of the damages or the debts that are incurred by Funko. Funko can burn everybody.
But they have to redo all their contracts.
Sure,
so all the
everything would have to be
licensing has to be redone, which would, if anything, is going to put a hiccup.
I don't know that it would, because Funko is Funko. Like, they had all the rights to make almost anything, right? Because didn't the whole thing with Funko is they dance around copyrights because there's no facial features?
That's what people assumed. Like, there's been no, as far as I'm aware, there's been no confirmation of that, but that's what it logically seems to happen. But what I'm saying is that if a company owns like Mondo, right? Company's owning it, but then it gets split off. It's now owned by a different company, whether it be they split and a different president took over, whatever. But it's owned differently now. All the contracts that they have for licensing with Turtles, X-Men, Batman, all those contracts need to be redone because now it's a new owner. Even though it's the same company, DBA basically, it's still a new owner. They have to redo all that shit. Then you have to hope that the companies are like, all right, cool, no problem, we just continue. Or they're like, hey, you guys are doing pretty good. let's renegotiate this contract now that we have to, and we want more money. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm
Sure.
saying. You could probably put a hiccup and cause things to slow down a little bit until they got the ball rolling again and got all that nonsense figured out. Because I don't think Mondo would just go in there. I think any company that has the means would want to buy them and continue doing what they're doing. But that all would depend on Funko if they'd even let it go, which I assume they would. For if they're going to go bankrupt, they want to sell it to get as much money as they can to help with the bankruptcy and all
So,
that shit. But
Do you think Mondo would? So I don't know how close Mondo is with Hasbro because didn't they do He-Man?
that's Mattel.
But didn't Mondo do? Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. But didn't Mondo do that? Mondo did He-Man.
Mondo has He-Man right now, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So technically, if Mattel or even Playmates, right, any of those guys see the potential in Mondo, or even McFarlane, honestly, I could see McFarlane saying, wait, God damn it, shaking his head about everything. So I could see McFarlane looking at Mondo and saying, man, they're doing really well with this line and this line. What could they do for Spawn? You know what? I'm going to stop it at this point and say, go ahead, Psycho. You're losing your fucking mind over there.
No, I'm just. You're naming all these companies that I don't want to have anything to do with Mondo, right? Like I don't want Playmates in a position to buy Mondo or influence what's going on. I don't want McFarlane in a position to buy Mondo or influence what's going on because both of those companies take shortcuts they shouldn't take, and it's just not like if I don't buy a lot of Mondo, but you pay a lot of money for Mondo because the quality is amazing, right? I wouldn't want companies notorious for not having that kind of quality having their hands in it. So
Right.
like that would be a concern for me because then you have a large company come in like, okay, well, your other company that owns you bankrupted themselves. We're not doing this. We're going to cut costs. We're going to do all these things. And then those figures will eventually suffer in quality because it's how it goes. The only thing that I was really shaking my head at earlier was you saying that Pokemon cards are a fad. Like I don't collect them, but if they're a fad, they're like a 30-year fad. Like, it's
Well, hold on.
So
Not
what
so
Tony's-
popular they are right now. When's the last time you heard them getting talked about as much as they are right now?
So what Tony's referring to is Pokemon cards have been around, right? Just like
Yeah.
Genie Babies are still
and when they
around.
first came out, they were incredibly popular
Congratulations. So 30 years ago, they were incredibly popular.
for
You're
years.
absolutely right. Not for years.
For
They were
years.
incredibly popular. No. So then it died down. They still made them. They've always been there.
Uh-huh.
But with COVID, there was a huge jump in the popularity of cards.
Yep.
And Pokemon cards were one of the ones that jumped. And then you had Logan Paul being a douchebag. Oh, look, I got the Charizard, $1 million, whatever. And it just helped build that hype for it. So now it's massive again. It's now bigger now than it was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So
But it was big for many years when it first came out.
But this is, in my opinion, this amount of popularity and this amount of hype is a fad. This is, look, call what you want, and I'm going to do something that's real unpopular, and I fucking can't stand it. 6'7". It's something stupid that happens to be popular right now. You're only grinning because your kids are doing that shit in class.
No,
But
because they do. I write them up.
my son
wow, freedom of
does
He's
it
not
all the
playing
time.
that game.
Christ.
Freedom of
I
speech
hear
doesn't
it.
apply in schools. Nice try, though.
Holy
But
crap.
I hear it everywhere, and I'm sorry, it's one of those things where it's like, yes, the cards and all that kind of like that whole world's been there, and there are people who are very dedicated that haven't let off of it, right? They're diehard collectors and card people who have been in that game for the entire time. That's cool. They're actually in it. Same thing with Magic the Gathering, right?
Yep.
Any of those guys who play those tabletop games, they've been in it, they stay in it. That's a lifestyle. It's like collectors. They have their own world, and that's cool. But I do believe that social media, hype, and whatever right now is so hyper fixated on Pokemon cards that it has become a fad to be a Pokemon collector or trader or to own the cards. So
It
like
is-
it's one of those things where it's like when you had it, it's cool, but it's like, oh, I'm OG. I've always been cool. It's like kind of like that. if that makes
So-
sense.
No, it absolutely does. And
Thank you, Chris.
the reason the fad right now is because people think that they can get rich off of them,
Correct.
right? You're like, oh, you're gonna hit that one. That's why they do all the the pack breaks and like you watch them on whatnot. You fucking selling. You sit there and pay to watch somebody open a pack and hope you win something from somebody else. Like it's a huge and it's all about money on that end because they're just hoping they're gonna get rich because, like I said, not just but Logan Paul had that huge thing where he had the Charizard framed like around his neck because it was a multi-million-dollar card and I got the and after that the kids on YouTube that are watching him just started growing. And then once that happens, what do you get? A bunch of middle-aged men who start going to Targets fighting each other to buy Pokemon cards because they know they can scalp them for ridiculous amounts of money.
Legit fighting each other. It was so stupid.
Yeah, over Pokemon cards. Ridiculous. But the idea of the Funko thing is that's where we were actually at. I don't think Funko's going under. Like I said, when you read that article, Funko never said that they are only going to last maybe another year. Those words never came out of Funko's mouth. They are actually on a rise. They're reporting gains. Like, if they continue, it'll be really bad if they continue going down, but they're starting to go back up. But also people don't know because it's not clear in the report or anything if it's Funko Pop or if it's Funko as a whole. Like, there's no clarity as to what the actual problem is. Because say it's Funko Pops, right? Just that division of Funko is going. Okay. Maybe they'll go back to making those Saturday morning Disney characters. Like, they actually made good action figures. They could go back to doing that shit, get out of there. But if I remember correctly, they said that Funko's like $250 million in debt. Something ridiculous.
So I'll piggyback off you, man, and say that if I had to guess, being more like strategic and more like concrete about it, right? Because there's too much generality right now. It's like, oh, Funko's going out of business. Well, hold on a fucking minute. There's a lot to Funko, right? So I would agree with you that it's probably, if I had to guess, more along the lines the actual Funko Pops themselves, not the 45 other things that Funko has its hands in.
Right.
Like, they make pins, they make fucking everything.
But when you hear the name Funko, people picture the Pops, right? Like, that's what people
absolutely.
think.
I think that Funkos are kind of, I hate to go back to it, but it's a Beanie Baby of the 2005, what is it, 15, 10, whatever they came out to now.
Let's be 100% real, though. To sit there and say Funko's the Beanie Babies, when Funko first came out, we could have called them, we said they're the Beanie Babies. These things are ridiculous. Funko's been on top for several more years than Beanie Babies ever was.
You do know Beanie Babies have come back, right?
No. Beanie Babies are still being made, but they're nowhere near what they were when they were the Beanie Babies, where people were collecting them in the 90s, right? Huge. They've never gone back. That was like, maybe a 2-year run, and that was it. Done.
Do you not remember Beanie Babies and Pogs on the side of the road?
Yeah, and that was all around the same time. And how long did Pogs last? About a year and a half?
When did you see Funkos on the side of the road?
When did you go to a convention that was only Beanie Babies or Pogs? Never. Go to a convention now. It's Pops up the ass.
I'll bet you if you had a Pog convention, that shit would be slammed with people.
I fucking hope not.
You know what? Fuck you guys. I'm having a Pog convention.
Hold on.
It's only one Beanie Baby to get in.
I could be wrong. Where do you guys could Google check it? But I think the guy from Napoleon Dynamite was trying to bring Pogs back, if I remember correctly. So we can do a quick Google. Like I said, one of you could look it up real quick and check. But I feel like that was a thing. Like, he was trying to
those two are sitting there doing nothing.
I feel like that was a thing. But yeah, like I said, Beanie Babies they've never left, but they've never been that hype again. Funko Pops have been like the super collectible and this huge following for 10 years, 15 years? Like, it's been a while. they've been doing
It's
Funko.
been a minute. Rebel will
It's
be
been
able
a
to tell you.
much
I
longer
couldn't tell
run
you.
than Beanie Babies had as being the shit that everybody was buying.
I'm not upset with Funko, man. I like the pops. I like some of the ones that come out. I have some cool ones. I think they're neat. But I think, again, it's one of those items that, like, it knew it was going to be short-lived, and you had to buy them for the right reason.
I feel
But
like
I think-
Funko's just herpes of the.
But see, I don't think. Right. So, like, first of all, at least in my opinion, Funko Pops are trash. Right. I have a couple of them. Most of them were given to me, but they're not. I never thought they were super cool. I never thought they were these awesome things. But we're also not paying attention to why Funko is in dire straits right now, or at least the Pops. They invested a fuck ton of money in a video game that they thought was going to be the next Lego style video game, right? Like, people go crazy for those Lego games where you're playing as Lego characters in a Lego world and blah, blah, blah. And then Funko a couple of years ago decided, oh, we're going to get in on this because everybody loves Funko Pops, which they don't, but everybody loves Funko Pops, and we have all these different licenses, and so we're going to make a video game based on, Funko Pops. And they put a ton of money into that game, and the game flopped incredibly hard. And that's where their money trouble, I'm not going to say it's where their money trouble started, but that's where their money trouble got serious because they invested so much money to make this game, and it didn't sell.
Did you just read that?
No, I didn't just read it.
Waiting for more.
I never heard that. That's what I was like.
No, I forget what the name of the game was, but they advertised it. They advertised the hell out of it. You could have Jurassic Park and Back to the Future together, and the commercials looked cool, but the game never actually materialized that way. And they spent a lot of money on licenses that people didn't enjoy because they didn't buy it.
I mean, that would be for that, and just the mistake Funko would have made there was not knowing their fan base, right? So you have people who buy Funkos to buy Funkos. Like Miss Rebel Girl loves Funkos, she buys them all, right? But Funko, like I said earlier, was like it's like herpes. Like, you fucking get one all of a sudden, and you got a couple. Like, it's fucking weird. I've never bought a Funko for myself from a store. I've been given Funkos, and the next thing I know, I have more Funkos. Like, I remember getting them. I have them. But people get those things to give to just anybody, almost like tchotchkes, right? You go on vacation, you see like, oh, look, it's the same thing with Funkos. So people buy them and give them to people, so they have huge sales. But it's not because they have huge sales because they have fans, that many diehard fans who are buying them. They have those huge sales because people are just buying them for just about everybody who don't give a shit about collecting because they have it on their desk at work. You know what I mean? Like, you have these sales, so it's like it's not fake numbers or fake sales, but it's fake love and attention that they think they have when they really don't.
Yeah.
That
So, yeah.
So it won't translate to a video game because, if my mom has Funkos on her desk at work, she's not going to go fucking buy the video games. Oh, I love Funko. Like, no, like, she has them because somebody bought them for her and now they're there.
Yeah. So this game was first announced. It's called Funko Fusion, by the way, and it was first announced at San Diego Comic-Con 2022, and it came out last year in September, so September of 2024. But here are the licenses that they had to buy for the game. Back to the Future, Battlestar Galactica, Big Boy, Child's Play, Five Nights at Freddy's, Funko had their own people in here. Hot Fuzz, Invincible, Jaws, Journey to the West, Joy of Painting, Jurassic World, KFC, Knight Rider, Manchester City FC, Masters of the Universe, Megan. There's a ton. But the game got panned by everybody. Like, everybody. And so the game is a flop. And it for most review sites, it didn't even get average reviews. It got less than average reviews. But they put a bunch of money into the making of this game, and the studio that made it for them ended up closing because of how badly the game did. So,
well, it says, according to Joe, they laid off a bunch of people there, at least.
Yeah.
But that's still, I would think then the debt and the problem is a Funko as a whole, right? Because if Funko was doing that, that would be a different division for video games. That's why they had to get all new licensing because it's a video game division, different product, different media. So then I would assume that this speculation is Funko as a whole, not just Funko as this one branch of Funko. Because they'd be like, all right, the video game branch is going under. Oh, it's gone, whatever, fuck it, it's a piece of shit. So it must be the company as a whole that they're speculating all this on. But still, like I said, it's all internet speculation by one website that made clickbait that the internet ran with.
Yeah.
So I don't think Funko's going anywhere. They might do some different. They might change directions in some fields, but I don't think they're going anywhere.
I think Funko will go somewhere. I think you won't see pops anymore unless there's a demand for a certain. All right, hold on. So maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't understand enough about Funko. But do you ever get the impression that Funko would pump out pops just to pump out pops?
Absolutely. Yeah. They were doing the whole quantity over quality, right?
Right. So instead of stopping and saying, okay, what's hot, what's popular right now, and saying, hey, I'm just gonna make something up, like, the newest, I don't fucking know, Transformers movie, right? It comes out, stick to making what's popular at the moment. And when you're done, you're done. You move on till the next thing that's coming out that's hot. The problem is they put out shit like Stars and Stripes, or they put out like The Golden Girls, or they put out like, I'm naming whatever, right? But you get my point.
Yeah.
They put out all these obscure pops, and everybody's like, well, it's cool, but I'm not going to buy. Who the fuck's buying a 12-inch Notorious B.I.G. Funko? Nobody. I'm just saying. He's been dead. I mean, you're going to bust a cap? He's been dead. Fuck the dude. But they make all these pops.
Fuck dudes, but
all these like random stupid ass pops. They just don't make any sense. What is it?
Because that was always one thing. Because like I understood that one of the draws that people had for Funko was that they were getting licenses that might not get representation anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
Things that, any big company, even like NECA, like they're not going to touch that because it's not profitable. So Funko was just getting licenses and producing these characters, most likely without actor licenses because it's not based on the likeness of the actor. And it gave people opportunity to get some type of toy form of their favorite properties. But they definitely went overboard with what it was. And I've always wondered when I started seeing all the craziness years ago, I was like, I don't know how they're doing it. I understand like it's not, they have these parts and they're just kind of like part swapping, but there's a lot of like unique sculpting for majority of their stuff. Like the base body's the same, but like the overlays are like there's a lot of unique overlays. Like it's got to be expensive as shit. So even for something like the Golden Girls, there has to be a lot of money dumped into it to get those made. Like I don't see how they're getting the ROI on a lot of their properties. Aside from people who are like, oh, I'm a Funko fan, so I just buy anything I can find Funko Pops. You know what I mean? Because there are psychos like that out there who just are brand loyal and collect them just for being Funko Pops. But there's not enough for the company to survive like they have.
Johnny, what'd you just throw out there?
So no, Wheezy's making a good point. There are people that collect Funkos just because it's a Funko, they'll go out and buy more.
Sure.
Just to complete it, because once they bought one, they have to complete all of their fucking, all of the fucking Funkos.
Yeah.
Because when we first opened our store, it was really insane, and I couldn't believe it. Because I had like
J5
vintage.
Toys free shipping. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I had vintage Transformers. I had G.I. Joes and modern stuff. Like brand new releases that was getting to me before they even got into Walmart and Targets. But the majority of business that we did when we first opened the first 2 months, it was insane. It was Funkos and it was those fucking Squishmallows. I couldn't believe it. Like that actually kept us afloat for a while.
Yeah, I mean, you can't you can't say Funko doesn't have sales, right? That'd be ignorant. Because we even know from the shows we do, Jeff purposely limits how many Funko dealers there are because he doesn't want his show full of Funko because it gives your show not a bad rep, but for people who are going there for toy collectibles, they look at it, all right, it's a bunch of Funkos and they just walk by, they don't come back because that's not what
They
we're
get the
looking
Beanie Baby vibe, whether you want to believe it or
Right.
not. That's the vibe they get.
for. Right, no, because if I walk into, like, I remember I was in South Florida and there was a collectible shop opened up in Davie, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go check it out. When I walked in, and of the 4 walls of the building, 3 of them were just Funkos, I walked out. Like, I'm good. Like, I see where you guys are. You're not going to have anything I'm looking for because you got just Funko.
Yeah.
And then the comic shops, slowly, you start seeing walls of Funko replacing comic books because it's just Funko. Like, the
I also
shit was
believe
selling.
that's a cheap replacement to collectible wall space. So if you want to look like you're bigger than you are, it is cheaper to have a wall of Funko than it is to have a wall of actual collectibles.
Well, yeah, because they're probably getting each Funko for like $3 or $4 a piece, and then they mark it up. And the size of them, most places they don't like stack Funko deep, right? They just go side by side, maybe on top of each other, so you get like a whole wall real fast,
So real quick, I want to acknowledge the chat. So Joe, thank you so much, man. You've been the only person talking, but we see there is another person watching through Shellhead Toys YouTube. There was another person besides that. There were 3 at one point. If you're on, make yourself known, man. We're down to talk to you. But so Emerald City, I want to talk about real quick. Emerald City Comics. Been there a few times. Awesome shop. Very, very cool. Adam and a lot of the guys down there. Very, very cool group. They're awesome with their prices. They have great toys, great collectibles, great comics. You name it, they have it. But they also have a very,
I thought you were fishing for a sponsorship. I thought you were fishing for a sponsorship.
No. They have a very, prominent Funko selection. And so I will give them this because most shops that I walk into, I will walk right past the Funko. I don't care anymore. If it's Voltron, I like it. If it's like Evangelion anime, I have them. I like them. If it's, Symbiote from, Spider-Man or anything Spider-Man oriented, I like it. Or if it's Horror Pops. But beyond that, I really don't care. And Alice in Wonderland, but that line's done. Like they're not doing it anymore. But Rebel Girl still collects, Star Wars and whatever's coming out, right, for those shows, and that's fine. She's into it. I'll never tell her no. Like, it's cool. She likes it. She does not collect for the reason other people's do. So she just collects because she digs it, and that's cool. I'm with it, honey. You buy whatever you want.
Isn't that what all of us should be, though?
We should be, but it's not, man. It's not, and that's the fucked up part.
You don't just collect for the stuff that you like, because I got a wall of shit back here that I like because I like.
I'm Turtles because I'm a
don't listen to Tony.
I'm a completionist or whatever you want to call it.
He'll tell you all day, there's too much Ghostbusters shit out there. Too many companies make Ghostbusters. I can see 2 Slimers in his screen right now.
Yeah, and I'm the third one. So, but we go to Emerald City, and they have a really nice selection of Funko. And I will tell you that I walked in there, and because they have such a great, first of all, great display and a great selection, they had all the Godzilla ones, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know they made this many Godzilla Funkos. Now, I love Godzilla. I'm not going to buy them, but I think they're cool as shit. And it was cool to see all the different ones. I'm like, oh, they have, Monster Zero. Oh, they have fun, because there is a difference, believe it or not. Monster Zero is King Ghidorah in Japan, and then vice versa. But they make different sculpts of him. Like, he looks a little different. And they call this one Monster Zero, and they call this one King. It doesn't matter. And then you had different versions, 30, 40 different versions of Godzilla.
So
it is not that boring, Psycho. Wake up. And but when you walk through their store, They have all the awesome collectibles and shit I bought from them. They're primarily comics because that's their genre, or their niche. And but it's cool to see that they still carry Funkos, but it's still represented so well that they still sell them and do well. It's not a Walmart. It's not a other places I've been where it's like, congratulations, you still have the old crappy Funkos nobody wants on your shelves. You didn't cycle them out. Emerald City stays on top of it. They cycle them. They clearance out what nobody wants. They put the better stuff on the shelves. And that's why they keep it fresh when you walk in. It doesn't take away from Funko itself.
So am I wrong in the thought that Funko Pops are the people for Funko Pops? The human characters are fucking boring as shit. But when they do like monsters, Godzilla, when they did like the Jurassic Park Funko Pops, like when you have something like that, I actually like how those look versus a human character. Human characters just look like just generic nothing. But when they do the actual creatures, there's a lot more sculpt into them that they don't look like a Funko Pop. They look just like a small vinyl
because
figure.
they look like the creature. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I've sold them all now, but I had some of the aliens and the predators, but when you compare it to like Ripley and Dutch, who I also had, I'm like, these are kind of bullshit, but the aliens and predators look cool. I have the Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park. Like, it looks cool, but I don't want Grant. Like, he looks like a Funko Pop.
I feel like that's why He-Man did so well in Pokemon. Because they look like a character.
I have Symbiote Spider-Man and one of the mini puffs. Those are the two that I have. I had some limited Power Ranger ones a couple of years ago that my brother bought me, but I have my cousin sell those. And then my wife made she got custom Funko Pops made for her and I, and then for our daughter. So I have those, and those are the Pops that I have in my house.
I think Funkos are cool for that. Corinne got one of those for myself and her. But
speaking of, Johnny? Like, I thought I've gotten rid of all my Funkos, like my stock of Funkos. I ended up finding another case of Green Ranger Funkos. I was like, what?
Nice.
See, like, but I sold all of my Funkos. I went through all the Funkos I have gotten, and I sold all my Alien Predator ones, and then some other random ones I had. But then, like, the only ones I kept were the a couple Tasmanian Devils, just because I liked how they looked. They actually looked pretty good.
So they matched your tattoo with your Calvin Hobbes tattoo.
What?
Tasmanian Devil and Calvin Hobbes.
You have that?
No, that was all right. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was saying, you have those tattoos? Jesus, Tony. That, and then, like, I have an from Lion King, I have Nala, and that's just because I have a dog named Nala. And I think that's all and an Audrey 2. I got an Audrey 2 pop because it looks awesome. It comes in like the little fucking like the little can, whatever she was in the movie. Like, that's all I've got for Funkos now, because I got rid of everything else. Because I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? Why? The hell am I going to do with these damn things? But I still think the monsters and stuff look the best of Funko.
So, we know what's really weird? When I was over at Toy Federation checking out the store, they didn't have a single Funko in there.
Well, yeah, because he's smart.
Yeah.
It's very smart.
So he makes it a point to not deal in them. He says the same thing when people call up and they say, "Hey, do you have Beanie Babies? Should you buy them?" And he goes, "No, I do not."
Dude, I still get calls about fucking Beanie Babies.
So Beanie Babies, it is what it is, right? They're old. You can still find them like Hallmarks and shit.
But they're coming back. Apparently, there is a nostalgia that somebody sparked and was like, "Oh, remember Beanie Babies? How cool they were!" And now people are like starting to be stupid and go out and buy them again.
They can go out and buy them. I've got a bunch of original ones. If they want to buy some originals from me for some high prices, then by all means.
So I guess let's flip a coin, right? Let's think about it like this. everything in existence has a cycle. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's one of those things where it only takes a spark. It only takes one person to say, hey, do you remember XYZ? And then somebody else goes, man, I remember those. I remember how cool they were. I liked them, whatever it was. Before you know it, you've got a group. Now you've got a group of people that are like, hey, do you remember XYZ? And then it becomes popular again for the dumbest reasons, but it becomes popular again. So let's say Beanie Babies take off. And we've got another maybe year, right? Like if they let's say it took off tomorrow. You got a good Psycho, I swear to God, man. You got
I don't want to take off, so no.
You got a good solid year of Beanie Babies selling like madmen. And then they drift off again. And then you've got look, man, let's just backtrack. What about these fucking Labubu things?
They're already dying, but yes.
They're the hype right now. Well, you say they're done, but they're the hype right now. Labubus, right?
I didn't say they're done. I said but they're already starting to die out.
Okay, but
see, that's one of the problems right now. No, you're absolutely right. But that's one of the things right now. And versus when Beanie Babies first happened, you had the internet. You had the early stages of the internet, right? So things lasted longer. But now people's attention on the internet is so quick to change. So like Labubus became a thing like overnight. Like it was all holy crap. People making stupid videos, but it's like they're already dying. It's been like maybe 5 months that has been like Labubus everywhere. And it's like, all right, they're already dying out because of the internet and TikTok has already moved on to other shit.
You hit it. That's exactly the reason. It's the internet that like brought it up and the internet that killed it.
Yeah, because it goes viral on TikTok and everybody has to buy one, and then they're on to the next viral trend, 2 months later.
100%, dude.
What is funny, your description of Beanie Babies, how, you sit there and you have that nostalgia, you have one person, that's just buying vintage toys for us on a daily basis. Like, what the fuck, Tony? Like, why the fuck did I buy this thing? Because I remember having it as a kid and I saw Froggy buy one. Holy shit, I remember that. Now I had to buy one.
Yep.
But that's like 101 vintage toy buying.
Yeah.
Fuck Funko. But in all, to close it out, people do want say they hate Funko, they want them to close. I would not want them to close because I don't like them, there's people who do like them, and people do work there. I don't wish job loss on anybody. So if they can just do their thing, by all means, this is not my world. I don't buy into them. But also, I don't want, at least give them a Ghostbusters from Mondo first. Like, then do whatever you want. Fuck them.
I'm going to go ahead and, dial back to Transformers. I know we just, changed gears, but Johnny and I were talking about this today.
Bring some toys, baby.
So they just, which, by the way, let's take a moment to thank our sponsor that is not our sponsor. Smirnoff, you're not there yet. We have 142 subscribers. Could you step your game up?
They're really
Smirnoff, making it great. All right, so I know it's Pizza Hut, but,
not get monetized.
We're short on money, so it's. But anyway, so Johnny and I were talking about earlier, and Transformers.
Brain fart? Okay.
What happened there?
Your whole brain
Listen,
shut down
man,
on that one.
Smirnoff's been a great sponsor. So I'm Daddy's feeling it tonight. So we were talking about Transformers earlier and talking about specifically Breakdown from the Menasor line. And so are you all right, Psycho?
Yeah.
I don't want to make you nod your head no, or something. So Breakdown, nobody can argue, was the most sought after piece that everybody was missing due to productions. They didn't make enough of him. So everybody was missing out. It didn't hit the stores like it was supposed to. And so when you were trying to finish Menasor, he was the one you couldn't get. Now, not like Superion where everything's been in abundance. So it's very hard to resell Superion because you can jump online right now and go to Hasbro and order every piece, and it's not a big deal. But
Did they do that stupid thing?
I'm sorry?
Did they do that stupid thing where they release like 4 parts all together, and then like the 5th one they wait?
No,
like
no.
2
They
years to
release
it. Oh,
no. They released all 5, but the 4th,
okay.
but the one piece they released in less quantity, and so you couldn't get him. It was too hard to get him. So then they did a box set. Well, the box set was 100% the color scheme for the toy, whereas the individual 5 pieces were color schemed to the cartoon. And it's going to be the same thing with Superion. Right now, everything you're buying is color schemed to the cartoon. When the box set comes out, it's going to be color schemed to the toy. I wish I'd have kept my box set for Menasor because that's what I knew as a kid. I would love to have that. I am not going to rebuy it for the price it's at right now. I'll wait until they re-release it because Hasbro has shown they will re-release fucking anything. If there's enough of a need, it will fucking come out. They just did it with Omega Supreme. I paid a good Omega Supreme pricing. I didn't have to pay $500 to get Omega Supreme.
But Hasbro is weird, like, especially when it comes to Transformers. Like, Marvel Legends, they just keep making Marvel Legends, the different waves, whatever. Same thing with G.I. Joe and Star Wars. But with Transformers, they seem to, like, they'll start a line. And it'll be like, just an example, let's say like, it's cartoon related line. And they'll have like all this stuff. But then at the end of the year or like within their physical year or whatever, all of a sudden they change directions and they end the cartoon stuff and start doing something else. Like halfway through and never revisit for like 6 years. Even if it's selling really well, they just like turn it off. Like, all right, we're done with that. We're going on to this now. We're not going to pay attention to what was selling. We're not going to give you the whole team. We're just going to, all right, we're moving on to a different media, a different version of these things. It's strange how they do that for Transformers. It's almost insulting to the fans who try and collect the shit.
I just think that.
I mean, I think we talked about this before on this podcast. It's like whoever's in charge of marketing or designing lines is not designing lines for fans, right? Like,
well,
why would you not have like an Armada line, a G1 line, a Beast Wars line?
Armada would sell.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like do lines like, okay, we're gonna focus on this group right now. But what ends up happening is they just release random figures from different iterations and one line, and then people pick and choose, right? Like, so Quick Strike, they released Quick Strike in the Power of the Prime set. It's like, why? Like, he has nothing to do with these things, right? What are you doing? And it's because Hasbro they don't think about the way that they release shit. They just kind of throw it together and that's it.
Well, that is almost like what they do with Legends, right?
Yeah.
But in that theory with Legends is not everybody collects comics, not everybody collects movie, so they try and put out a little bit of everything in each wave so they can get sales from everybody versus, oh, there's going to be this 3-month window where only a comic versions are out. So all our movie fans aren't going to buy it. They want all the sales, so they're going to put little bits here and there of each. So there's like continuous sales for each line or each, I don't know, franchise or whatever.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Throughout the year. But I feel that they should just do like, here's an X-Men wave, or like you said, like here's a certain Transformer wave, and just do that way. So if you want to buy them all, you buy them all.
Well, what about the G.I. Joes? So like the classified line, I only buy Python Patrol and Tiger Force, right? We haven't seen a figure for either one in almost 6-7 months. They haven't done a damn thing. I'm at the point now where I'm like, all right, they're not going to re-release any. I'm almost ready to sell my lines. But then they'll all, like, randomly out of nowhere, they'll be like, oh, here's a figure for Python Patrol. I'm like, if you're done, announce you're done. But if you're not, like, I guess buyers need to know, because if they're not going to do anything else, that doesn't do it for me. You didn't do the line. I don't want the rest of what I have.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't G.I. Joe classifieds dying until they started doing their like the classic ones, the classic versions of everybody? Then it picked back up.
Like,
Like, it was dying.
Classified is awesome, though. I don't know why it would be
Well,
dying.
Well, because
No,
people
no.
originally they wanted like the original toys bigger,
Yeah.
and they
So-
weren't doing that.
Wheezy's right. So what happened is, because I got in on that very first wave from Hasbro when it came out, and it was like these ridiculous colors. It was more like based on some sort of video game instead
Yep.
of the actual classic Joes. And those things flopped hard. I mean,
Yeah, like I think it was like the first two waves were based on some video game that either never got produced or it was so bad that nobody played.
yeah, it was terrible. Those things, I actually ended up clearing them out, like clearancing them, and then there was a whole like, I had like a couple of cases of them that I ended up like donating to a bunch of children's hospitals, the kids
Yeah,
there.
and then after that, the waves
Suffered
were,
enough, right?
they-
What?
I said because they hadn't suffered enough, right?
But then, like after that, the next few waves were still hindered by it because people were already pissed off about the first couple waves. But then once they started doing the classic ones, where they're on the classic card backs and everything, it revived the line, and people went crazy for those. And now the line is flourishing.
Yeah, and I mean, like, so it was last week, I think it was, that Quick Strike came up for pre-order in Power of the Primes. But before that, they hadn't released a Beast Wars figure since March of 24, right? And that's
so
when they
weird. It's so random.
they released Silverbolt, right? And like everybody, because when they stopped the Netflix show that all this stuff was tied to, the War for Cybertron, where they brought the Beast Wars characters back, that's when they started doing these remaster type figures, not like just reproduction, but kind of reimagining. And so they were making them, and they looked great, and we were buying them. People were buying them; they were selling very well. And then when that was over, they're like, "Oh, well, we're going to keep doing it." And then they stopped. And then in February or March of 24, we got Silverbolt, and then we didn't get a single thing, like no more Beast Wars stuff until.
What was the last show, Psycho? What was the last show they produced?
Do
you know?
Are you talking about Beast Wars stuff, or are you talking about just
Beast Wars.
general? So Beast Wars, it was War for Cybertron, I think Part 3 on Netflix.
It wasn't Netflix. That's not the one where what is that? We talked about this before, and I'm sorry. What's the one where Ultra Magnus, he's like got a cloak on and shit because he's like ashamed he's going to talk to Megatron or Starscream?
Yeah, that was
And
the
then
first.
you've got-
That was the first one. The
Yeah.
first arc.
Yeah, because there were 3 arcs to that show. It was like going through the timeline. It was kind of like reimagining the
Like
timeline.
Bumblebee's a scavenger, right? We talked about
Yeah.
this before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like Siege, Earthrise, and then I can't remember the other one.
But in the last one, they brought in the Beast Wars characters, and they look like they did originally. And so the toys are very similar, but they're different. Like obviously they're smaller, they're a little more detailed, and it just kind of, I mean,
You don't have to.
yeah, I mean, like here's
Don't knock your shit over.
here's Optimus Prime from that line. He looks very similar, right? Like there's a lot of detail, but he's incredibly small. And then I showed you the Prime from earlier, which was the
Yeah.
original, Prime. So it's kind of like they were doing this, and this line was selling really, really well. But when the show ended, they just kind of like gave up without
Yeah.
saying they were giving up, and then randomly just throwing things out there.
So I would have loved.
So
Good.
no, I was saying I would assume, like I said before, like they just end things and then that's it, right? As soon as like a media is done or the comic or they end the line without reason, right? They just stop it. But then it's almost like they had those in production. It's like, oh, we have to eventually release them because we want to get our money back. We put the money out for them, even though the line's done, and then they just throw them randomly out there periodically just to make their money back on them.
Yeah, and we talked about this before, but it's like these companies make dumb decisions that don't make any sense, right? Like from a fan's perspective, Beast Wars is hot, right? Like
Oh,
it's now
fucking
it's
100%, man. If
yeah,
I had,
now's the
well, you and
time
I
to go.
talked about it, man. If I had
Yeah.
more of those toys at the show, they'd fucking sell. Like I just can't get them. Like not at a cost that like makes sense.
But it's like now's the time to reap those benefits because Beast Wars came out in '96, so next year will be 30 years, right? Like, where is the celebration of Beast
And
Wars?
it's a
Like,
great line. Why aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes, why aren't we celebrating it?
so it's like randomly here's Quick
Damn it,
Strike.
Johnny, make it happen.
So I would. The only thing I can think of is, and I don't know. Obviously, we don't know the
It's
ins and
grub
outs
sport.
of
That's what's
Hasbro.
interfering. I get it.
I don't know the ins and outs of Hasbro.
Call Ace.
But when you look at all their lines, none of them pander to the fans more than Star Wars and Marvel, right? Because I think those are the two. But those are the two franchises and the teams that understand that they are selling to collectors, not children. So they do a lot of the one-off characters that collectors want that kids wouldn't give two shits about because they know that that's who's buying it. Whereas G.I. Joe has the fans, but also at the same time, kids just a little bit. It's G.I. Joe's Army guys. They can sell those all day. But like, what kids gonna go be like? Oh, I need a Polaris from Marvel. Nobody. Collectors, they want it. So it seems like they do. Transformers, though, I don't think their team, like you said, like really focuses on the collector side. I think they try and do it for the kids, and then like, oh, let's throw this in. Also, maybe collectors would want this too, because that's what it seems like, is that they focus more on child sales versus collector sales. Like that team just doesn't focus on the collector
You're probably not wrong
for whatever reason.
but I don't know.
It's not smart, but that's what it seems like.
I don't know. It's one of those things that, as a collector, as a fan, has always frustrated me about these companies. You think that you would think that they would know their products, they would have their finger on the pulse of what the fandom is saying. You know what I mean? And they seem so out of touch. And it's everybody. It's not.
Oh my God! Stop with the puns.
But then you have companies.
Touch.
But then you have companies who seem like that their finger is too much on the pulse, and they only listen to like one fucking fan who said something ridiculous one time, and then we get fucking train conductor Shredder. Like nobody fucking wanted that. So they saw like one post from some nerd that's like, I need that one. And like, you know what? That's a great idea. We're listening to the fans. No, you listen to some dumbass, and we got that thing.
Yeah.
Like, so you either you don't get like that nice balance. Either they don't listen, or they seem to listen too deeply. Like,
yeah.
So look, ultimately, Hasbro, you're not listening to your fans, man. Like,
especially the Transformer side.
What?
I said, especially the Transformer side of Hasbro. It doesn't seem
any side, but yeah, I guess, man. Like, open up your horizon. Like, look, we don't have enough Beast Wars. We have way too many Optimus. Stop with all the fucking combiners. Give us some Beast Wars shit.
But also, like, be smart about it. And that's the thing for me. Like, when we got Silverbolt, at the same time they decided to do a Beast Machines figure. But the Beast Machines Cheetor they did was tiny. It's like, so if you look at all these figures, they actually make sense in scale based on the cartoon show, right? Like they're scaled properly. And that was one of the biggest complaints about the original Beast Wars line. You had figures that were the same size as shouldn't be, because in the show they weren't. Right? So in the show, Optimus Primal was not the same size as Megatron.
He was very he was shorter than him.
Yeah. And so, like, in the original toy line, they made them both gigantic, which, I mean, is fine. It was for kids, but this line kind of fixed that problem. But then all of a sudden you release a Cheetor from Beast Machines that's tiny when it wouldn't be that tiny. So it's, I don't know. They need to figure shit out. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why they can't seem to get it right, but
well,
definitely
in one And one thing that we're all looking at this from our side, right, as the collectors. I imagine there's a few cubicles of people crunching numbers, looking at data, who are like, oh well, the data doesn't support this. That why they make a lot of these weird ass decisions that we don't understand because they're seeing data that we don't see. But you'd think to make money they would just listen to the fans because that's who's buying the damn things.
Well,
You know,
But then again,
Hasbro-
you have that point of people could be loud, but do they actually speak with their wallet? That's
well,
another
one
problem.
thing with
'Cause
that
you have-
is with
good, Johnny.
Transformers, you kind of have the scaling thing. So let's say if they wanted to make a figure at a certain scale to be accurate, but they still wanted to charge pricing, in line with what they're releasing, that becomes a problem because then people are like, well, this figure's too small for that price point, which you hear a lot of things, especially with that Devastator. Devastator, some of those things are being charged at a deluxe price point, and they weren't. It's the same thing once you start getting into Voyager class figures that aren't adding up to that, and then you have the waffling on top of that. So
Waffles are delicious.
their way to justify that is okay. Well, if we just keep them all at this scale, we could still keep that price point, without having to do something like add a bunch of accessories that wouldn't, make sense.
But like the weird aspect of that is that when you look at how they do it across their other toy lines, right? So you have Marvel Legends, they're all one scale. They're all in scale, but once you get a bigger figure like the Hulk or Apocalypse, it's Marvel Legends, but it's a deluxe figure, so they could charge more. So like Hasbro could easily do a general scale of all the normal size, average size vehicles, have them all in scale. One smaller one's going to be RC because she's a motorcycle, right? Like those type of characters will be a little bit smaller. But and then you have the deluxe ones, which could be the bigger vehicles, the bigger airplanes, and the bigger Optimus Prime because he's a goddamn fucking semi versus Bumblebee, who's a goddamn beetle, right?
Yeah.
Like, but you could do a scale line and then charge the bigger as just a deluxe in that same scale, so they'll be bigger, but you could get more money.
Yeah,
It's easier to do deluxe and charge more versus like, oh, this is it. Oh, now we have to do a smaller one and reduce pricing.
like
Does that make sense?
when this Rat Trap came out, this was like $8 or $10. It's tiny, right? But like Rat Trap was tiny on the show.
But he's
And
always been yeah.
Yeah, but like, and then here's Waspinator, who was
But should have been
also-
no more than maybe $12.99. Would you pay?
yeah, Waspinator was like $15, right? He's not as big as he's bigger than Rat Trap, but not gigantic. But then if the Optimus Primal that I showed you guys, that figure was about 30, and then you have the large Megatrons were bigger, and they did the Transmetal Dragon Megatron from the last season of Beast Wars, where he's that giant red dragon, and that one was like $55. He's bigger.
I'm going to go back and watch that.
But again, like the thing that was frustrating there, it's like you're already charging me a premium price. Why is his skin not metallic? Right? Like, so if you're going to charge me $55 already, charge me $60 and give me the metallic skin. Right? Like, don't cheap out here for a paint job. Right? So, I don't know. It just, who knows? Who knows?
Oh, that's funny.
It's
All right,
really
peace out.
weird. Hasbro should do.
I keep hoping he grabs a
like
figure
they-
and knocks them all over. So
He actually knocked over a few already.
it's like waiting to see the domino
So,
effect.
Johnny Hasbro, you were saying?
So Hasbro really, and I've been thinking this for a while. Like Hasbro should really make a collector's line,
Yes.
specific collector's line, where you do have the premium paint. They're solid figures. There's no waffling. There's no, you do the better
maybe you pay
engineering.
a little
and
bit more.
You charge that premium price point. Almost, but you get that definitive figure. That's catered. That's directed towards collectors. I mean,
Yeah,
and even do it
basically-
just like they do with the
Hasbro.
You know how they do the Marvel, where they do kind of like that pre-order window.
Yeah.
Right.
Even do that line, that collection line. Do it like that, so that way the people that really want it are gonna pay and support it and back it in that way.
Yeah,
Well, it's like
call
the-
it whatever,
it's
but
like
basically
Spider-Man.
like an Ultimates line. Like it's the ultimate version
Yeah.
of this for the collector. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like that Spider-Man line, right? Like where they box it with the old like 90s aesthetic, right? Like those figures were premium. They're really well done. The paint is nice. They look the way they're supposed to, and it was a premium
You
item.
talking about like that Maximum line?
I don't. It's the one that looks like it's the 90s cartoon show, right? It's got like that Spider-Man logo. It's got the
no.
special box. I don't know, man. They're all way up there, and I don't want to pull it
There's
down.
a
because
Marvel.
you just
There's a
wish.
Marvel line that's they call it Maximum, so it's supposed to be like the best articulation and paint for it. Like they did Spider-Man, they did Hulk.
Hulk. It's like a $60 Hulk, a $50 Spider-Man.
So I mean, kind of something along that lines where it's like it should be the ultimate representation of that.
Okay, yeah, that's just the retro
Yeah.
card line. Yeah.
It's been out
Yeah.
for a while.
But I mean, that's
They just re-released Kingpin the other day too.
yes, yeah. That's what I was showing you. But I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Those figures looked very good. They looked like they were supposed to. They were painted appropriately. So it's like if you're gonna pay a little bit more, I want it to be right.
All right, so
Yeah, so at least with the Ultimates, like there's not going to be a need for like a DNA upgrade kit or some bullshit like that. It should be that definitive representation of that, that figure.
People will still get mad for some reason. But it's so much
Oh,
more
yeah, I
money.
mean, you're not going to make everyone happy.
people suck, man.
I mean, if you can't make everyone happy, you might as well just piss
No,
them
they're gonna
all
bitch
off.
about whatever they can.
Fuck it.
But I
Make
mean, I
them
think
all
what Johnny's saying is right in that situation, though. Like, yeah, you're going to piss people off, but the fans are going to appreciate it. Oh, it's more money, cool, but I'm paying more money because I want the definitive figure.
No, but
Right.
the fans are the ones who are going to be the ones complaining.
I don't see how. I mean, I can't say that because people complain about the dumbest fucking things. So
Exactly.
Yep.
Because here's the thing. I mean, at that point, because look at it.
Double
At that
down,
point, you're
dude.
almost competing against third-party figures. Because the third-party figures are just that. The only difference is they're not officially licensed.
yeah, because Tony mentioned these before on the podcast, and I forget what they're called, but there's another company that makes Beast Wars figures, but they're bigger and they're way more expensive, and they're you can transform them. But like the Optimus Primal was $250. Like I don't have $250 to spend on a
They're-
figure.
You
They're
just
basically
said
masterpiece,
that you're
but they're
willing to
third-party
pay more
masterpiece.
money for a quality item. Now 250 is too much? That's
Yeah, so like I'm talking about 60, 70, maybe $100.
I understand what you're talking about. I'm just fucking
for a
around.
figure like is too much.
No, it's just funny. You said you're calling these companies cheap, and you're like, that's too fucking much money.
I can't provide a masterpiece Beast Wars for less than $150. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's a knockoff.
But here's the thing. That's right. You're paying that money for it, that $200, but at least you're getting that, the quality that comes with that.
Look, even a
So-
knockoff masterpiece is still a quality toy.
Yes.
You can,
I
people can
honestly,
differentiate, but they're still a quality toy.
third-party masterpiece, in my opinion, I mean, from what I've encountered, have seen to be better. I mean, I really love that third-party Magic Square Optimus Prime. That figure is incredible. Even the oversized one that Tony actually ended up buying from me later on. That thing's incredible. The light up features and all that in that figure it's insane.
So, there's a lot to go on off of this, and it's awesome, and we have a great time. But I'm blitzed, so let's call it, guys. We are past the 1 hour mark. It's 10:11. We've had a great night tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining. Wheezy, thank you so much.
Man, I'll do what I can.
Johnny J5 and Hugo, aka Mr. Psycho.
That Hugo Strange is gonna have to go.
Oh my god, I love it. Thank you guys so much for coming out.
It's
It
gonna
is
have to
Drinks and
stay now.
Toys.
It's a thing now.
Yeah, look, man, I love it, man. It's cool. It looks cool. But thank you guys so much for coming out. It's Drinks and Toys. Listen, we'll see you next time. Thursday is Collector's Hideout. I will not be present, but Wheezy, you want to plug? You and Psycho? What's going on Thursday?
Psycho and I will be there. I have no idea what the hell we're talking about. What it is. I've been so fucking busy with work. I have no idea.
Well, fuck it. You guys will figure it out.
It'll be something. It'll be there.
Yeah.
Might have a different guest also. Might throw a couple different guests on there.
Guys, either way, it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun on it. I get to join it. I'm privileged for Wheezy to let me join and talk about whatever's going on. But guys, this is Drinks and Toys. I wish we had something else to talk about tonight, but I think we've done enough. It's 10:15. We're done. It's late. Have a good night. Thank you guys so much for coming out. And as always, no caps.